Well, it looks like the MMA gods have finally answered our prayers. A pivotal lightweight clash is set for the UFC's return to Madison Square Garden on November 12th. At UFC 281, the former interim lightweight champion and top contender in Dustin the Diamond Poirier will go up against the former Bellator lightweight champion and former lightweight title challenger inside the UFC, coming off of a huge knockout victory over Tony El Cucuy Ferguson, being the only man to ever knock out the boogeyman in Michael Chandler, or should I say Iron Michael Chandler. Chandler versus Poirier is in the works for UFC 281. More than likely, it would be a co-main event or a feature bout of the evening, especially for the UFC's return to Madison Square Garden. And this is just perfect timing. I couldn't think of a better matchup for both men unless Chandler was going to be going up against the notorious Conor McGregor. But going off of recent rumors and beliefs, Conor McGregor's return will most likely get pushed back to early 2023, and he won't be stepping in the ring for the remainder of this year. You've got two of the heaviest punchers in the lightweight division going at it. But when you really break this down from a technical standpoint and look at all aspects of mixed martial arts, I would say that you have to give Poirier the volume and technical advantage when it comes to the boxing on the feet, and I believe you have to give Chandler the speed and power advantage when it comes to the hands in that regard. So it's really going to be the case of, can Poirier land the volume and out-crisp Chandler on the feet, or will Chandler be able to step his way into range, use his fakes and feints, and line up that missile of a right hand that he possesses and knock Poirier out cold? I could see either of these men getting a knockout, but if it was up to me, I would advise Chandler to use more of his wrestling base in this fight. I know Poirier doesn't have terrible takedown defense, but I expect Chandler to be able to take Poirier down if he does shoot takedowns. You saw his wrestling showcased in the bout against Tony Ferguson, where he landed a beautifully executed double leg and ran the pipe, taking Ferguson right off of his feet. If he does that same thing against Poirier, I expect him to be able to get more and more takedowns as the fight continues to go down from that 15-minute time limit. But in the same regard, if we're looking at Poirier's best route to victory, it's working the body of Michael Chandler and then using that volume and pressure and boxing combinations to work his way up to the head and then eventually land a knockout combination. It's going to be death via accumulation for Poirier, when it's going to be more of a one-hitter quitter or a one-shot spot for Chandler when it comes to the knockouts on the feet, or the best route to getting the finish for both men. Looking at common opponents for both men, they've both fought the current lightweight champion, or I guess the by-the-books UFC lightweight champion, in Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira. Chandler did hurt Oliveira early in the fight, dropping him twice, I believe. But, Oliveira, using his Superman powers and his Clark Kent 2.0, was able to get back up to his feet, channel his superpowers, and then finish Chandler at the beginning of the second round. Poirier, however, was also able to drop Charles Oliveira. He probably had him hurt a little bit more than Chandler did, but they both did severe damage to Oliveira when it came to the boxing on the feet. But again, Oliveira was able to channel those superpowers and survive, and then go into the third round locking up a rear naked choke submission, a standing rear naked choke actually, forcing Poirier to submit. Another common opponent for both men is Justin Gaethje. Now, Poirier went toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje a few years ago. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And had an all-out war. They both went toe-to-toe and, threw their combinations at each other, basically threw the kitchen sink at each other. But it was Poirier landing a beautifully executed straight left hand at the beginning of the fourth round, and then pouring it on with volume and switch stance combinations to finish Gaethje. Chandler, however, went toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje back at UFC 268 in a 3-round fight. Now, Chandler did get dropped with a beautifully timed uppercut by Justin Gaethje, but he also hurt Gaethje on the feet multiple times, had him wobbling across the cage, but I believe it was pretty clear that Gaethje got the upper hand. So if we compare the two fights, I would say Chandler probably had a better showing in some regards against Oliveira, while Poirier had a better showing in some regards against Gaethje. But that's the only common opponent we can compare. We talked about Chandler's fight with the notorious Conor McGregor being a possibility in the following year or in the months to come, while Poirier holds 2 victories back-to-back over Conor McGregor, both via TKO. Even the second one was more due to an injury off of a checked kick from the notorious one. I think this fight is just perfect. It makes a whole lot of sense. It's everything the fans could want. It's going to sell a lot of pay-per-views. And it just makes all the sense in the world to book the fight next. The Diamond versus Iron. Iron Diamond, Diamond Iron, call it whatever you want. This is perfect, and this is exactly what we need. And to top the bill of MSG, which may have Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira as the main event, or potentially a Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochazka rematch, this is the perfect fight to put in New York City, in Madison Square Garden, under all the lights. I can't wait. I know anybody who clicked on this video can't wait either. And when both these men get locked inside the cage, it's going to be a firefight and just one thing: pure and utter violence. If there's one thing you can't do, if there's one thing you must avoid at all costs, do not miss this fight. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you at the top.